Gruesome Magazine.
Hello, once again, I am Doc Rotten, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest in streaming and video on-demand horror movies. Each week, my co-hosts Jeff Mohr, Crystal Cleveland, Dave Dreher, and I will take a look at various spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. Tonight, we are reviewing Verotika, which is currently playing on Shudder. Oh, boy. Holy crap. You're going to want to stick around for this because this movie, dude, oh, all right. First, I'm going to bury the lead. I've got to get the rest of the crew in here. Jeff, how you doing, sir? Are you ready to do this?
I guess so. And by the way, I got my eyes on you.
I got
my eyes on you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah. Is that like a Cthulhu Batman or something?
It is.
It's Cthulhu Man.
Yeah.
Right. Also joining us tonight is Crystal Cleveland. She is the living dead girl. You got some blood splatter there behind you. That looks awesome.
Totally do.
Cool.
Yeah, and on my shirt too. See?
Now you got fangs.
Oh, it's dripping.
You got some red on you, as they say. All right.
See, the time I laughed.
Yeah, trained you well, Crystal. All right. We are okay. This goddamn this film. All right. Verotika. It's available starting September 24, 2020 on Shudder. It is written, directed by Glenn Danzig. Yes, that Glenn Danzig. Starring, among others, Ashley Wisdom, Rachel Alig, and Alice Tate. The synopsis is Glenn Danzig's directorial debut is a horror anthology that compiles stories from Danzig's line of comic books of the same name. Stories which focus on horror content that's often sexual and violent in nature, usually featuring scantily clad female protagonists. All right. What we do here is we give our first impressions, and then we talk about the film for a little bit, and then we wrap things up with our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. You're going to want to stick around for that because this is going to be, oh my God, don't hang out. You're going to like this. And then, we got to do the first impressions. All right, Crystal, I want you to go first. Please.
Okay.
What the hell did you think of this movie?
Okay, so when I first started watching this, I honestly had to sit back and go, is this a joke? Because I wasn't sure whether it was a joke or not. This is unfortunately some of the worst acting I've ever seen in my life. I mean, I'm so sorry. There's a lot of beautiful women. That's a plus to the movie. And honestly, the writing, the stories were kind of okay. I kind of thought they were cool. I love Bathory. So the bathing in blood was right up my alley. That's always a fun story. But what's sad is this is the first one of those tales that I've actually found boring. Even her bathing in the blood with the naked girl with boobies, perfect boobies, and I was bored. I was like, okay.
Yes.
Oof. I don't know how that happens. Usually when boobs are on the screen, it's great for me. But this is a really bad movie. There was a lot of blood at points, like the Bathory one. And there was some good bloods. There was a couple funny lines like, your tits, they're looking at me. That's funny. But even some of the effects, like the skinning of the face, that definitely wasn't as, oh God. I had some expectations and they were not met. And it is not, and I don't mean it's so bad it's good. It's just so bad that it's just bad. It's just bad. Literally the worst acting I've ever seen. Oh my God. My face. What?
That's about right.
I don't even understand what happened. Now there was a couple people that were okay, but 90% of the cast was And that's the weakest point. That was the weakest point of the movie for me.
Am I wrong?
So yeah.
Am I wrong? But did the monster in the first one? Did his costume blow out at in his crotch?
At the bottom?
Yeah.
I think so. I was looking at that. I was like, when they did the full shot where he came in where he was at the end, it looked like that. That's why I was saying, is this a joke? Is this supposed to be a joke? Is it supposed to be funny? Because it's not bad enough, and it's not campy. It's not. It's clearly trying to be serious, and my mind is just blown by how bad it is. I'm just shocked that this was filmed and no one said anything about like, hey, Glenn, do you think maybe we could, direct the actors better? Or I don't know. The music was fine. Like I said, I didn't have a problem with the stories. I don't understand. It went off the rails in a bad way. And I will never, ever watch this movie again.
No,
ever.
No way.
No. Nope.
All right.
Nope.
Let's find out. Jeff Mohr, who loves WTF movies, this may put him to task here. So what is your first impression of Verotika?
This is not what I mean by WTF. And just so you know, I blame you, Doc.
It is my fault.
No, I championed for this too. I was like, yes, I definitely want to see it. Yeah.
I did too. I'd heard that it was actually kind of like in the so bad it's good camp, but
it's not.
Lots of scantily clad, beautiful women trying to be erotic in some of the scenes and just being boring instead. And it's
how does that happen?
Yeah, I don't get it. I just don't get it. They tried. You could tell they were trying to be sexy, and there is a couple of there's a couple of real life. And I shouldn't say this. I didn't investigate all of them, but I did recognize two actresses who do a good job, but they have very, very small parts. The people that had the leads just were strange choices for the lead. So we start off with, I don't know if he's an albino spider or if he's the neckbreaker. The neckbreaker. I don't know.
Yeah. And the face killer or something like that, right?
Yeah. Take the face and steal. Yeah. Nope.
Raising the blood of virgins. Oh my God.
Lots of scenes.
The battery things that I can get behind though. That's a cool thing.
I can too, but not this version of it. Not this version.
No.
No. All right. Yeah. So I programmed this. I said, okay, it's a Shudder film. We love watching the Shudder movies. Shudder nails it. So there are going to be people that like this. There are people that are going to just say, this is so bad, I'm having a great time. Not me. This is a huge turd of a movie. I dislike this movie. It does the worst thing. It's boring. It's just boring. It's long shots of people just.
Oh my God, I know exactly. Yes.
It's like
I was like, someone told her when she opens her eyes wide, she looks crazy.
Yeah,
and that's what she's like.
And they just hang out on these shots where they don't say anything, but they just kind of look and like it's so unnatural. And it's like, did you mean to cut like 30 seconds earlier? Like this is awful. And there's even exactly. We got to get you on camera doing that. So
how does someone not know how to bathe in blood though? I mean, it's like, and I'm like, really? It's like, like how can you not I don't understand how such beautiful, sexy women can be so unsexy. I'm shocked. It's like someone zapped them and zapped their sex appeal right the freak out of them. And I'm like, I don't know. It's the strangest thing. I've never seen anything like it. It's wild. It's wild. Sorry,
it
just closed my mind.
This should be interesting in some respects, but not in this. It's terrible.
The dead corpse, nude woman on the slab in The Autopsy of Jane Doe was sexier than the people in this film.
Absolutely, that is a fact.
Jeff, there might be something wrong with that statement.
I'm not saying it. I'm not.
But it's true. But it's true.
She wasn't moving. She wasn't doing anything. These women were trying. She wasn't trying. They're trying.
They're like.
And there's times when the shot is off, right? There's especially when it's like in the first one with the spider thing. You know, there's a shot where neither the spider guy or the girl are in composition, right? It's just like, what are you doing? And the lighting is terrible. This movie is a super turd. This is the candidate for the worst film of the year. I hate this movie. And I was like, okay, no doubt. I could do some cheese. We could do some camp. Let's do this. Be as bad as you want. I'm ready. What?
Yeah.
What are you doing? There's no timing. There's no atmosphere. Wait. There's no.
What were all the tendrils hanging off the heart? Okay. Yeah. No. What?
I don't know.
Huh?
And I like that.
You saw that. I was like, wait, they're not like it's like this long. I'm like, no. I'm
just gonna hold it up here.
Yeah, and I liked when he was holding it, or she was holding it, and she kept moving her arm. The dead girl.
No. But when she slits, the girl that's upside down and she like slits her wrist, the girl like totally dies, and then like in a little while she starts going. What are they doing? Why did they like stop? Why did they have her completely dead and then do that? Why didn't she just keep like? I'm just like, oh god, okay. Oh god.
Well, the slit the slit necks, the cut necks, where the blood was like it was like one of those over the top Japanese movies where. Like it was like you turned on a garden hose. There was no spurting. There was nothing. It was just, and so it was kind of cool. But then at some point, it turned into a kind of a pumping thing. It was just I couldn't. They didn't know what they were going for.
Yes. Jeff, I think that the effect, they were having a hard time doing it, and so I think that it was only work. I do think they were pumping it, and sometimes it wasn't working right, and I think that's why the actress was like, is it going to come at me? Are we going to do this money shot? Because she's like, okay. Yes. I'm like, it's so bad. Why are they doing this to me?
Why are they doing it to you? Oh my god. So there's also an actress that plays like a horror host to introduce the three things. It starts off kind of interesting. She pokes out some eyes. Mm-hmm. That might ring true to somebody here on the podcast here.
I know, right? That looks a little familiar.
Yeah, it looks a little familiar.
Exactly the same.
Yeah, and so it's like, okay, this is kind of promising. This might actually work. Then they introduce the first story, and you get this. Okay, it just blows up. It just like falls apart like a house of cards. It's awful. Like the first scene is like supposed to be. I'm not really sure what it's supposed to be. Like there's something there's some shenanigans going on, sexual shenanigans, but it was like yawn. Come on, this is dull, man. This is dull, and
it happened again.
Leave her alone. She just lost her best friend. Oh, that was in the other one.
Oh my god, that was later. Yeah.
Oh god.
Well,
oh man.
And okay, so there are some cameos in this of some
Oh, Caroline did amazing.
Yeah,
she was great. Actually, she was great. I mean, I was like, great. Oh, okay, and she's in it for like 5 seconds.
Yep. She probably could.
Oh, the redhead in the Contessa one. I liked her a lot too.
Yeah, she was having a good time.
She was good.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, I really liked her.
Oh,
I
yeah,
was like,
yeah. Well, and I like Tanya Kay.
Yeah, we've talked about her before.
I reviewed she one of the models.
Yeah, she was
the
she
only had a couple lines.
Yeah, she was the one that said she just lost her friend. What was up with the bald detective guy? Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I mean, if he's going for, I'm just going to have to imagine he was going for some kind of like parody of these guys, right? It couldn't have been a serious thing, right? Is it Sean Kanan? Sorry, I'm calling him out. This is terrible. He's going to like come to my door and beat me up. I mean, it's like he's in a different movie, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in a different movie,
his lines too.
Right, and in a different movie, that would have been hilarious. But in here, it was like, I don't understand what's going on. This is so weird.
So the problem with this is it seemed like the rest of the actors were actually trying to act and just are horrible. But for him, it seemed like he was playing a kind of a caricature, like he was being a little campy to me.
Right. Even though I didn't care for it, he at least felt like he was actually going for something, right?
Yeah.
It just didn't necessarily fit in this. So it's just like, what is going on? I just don't understand this. And you said you liked the stories, but I didn't like there are no stories. There are no vignettes. Right? There's no beginning or end to it. It's just like, okay, this happens. And the point is, there isn't a point. There's no character development. There's no gravity's working. There's no morals to anything. There's just, it's just we're just going to show you some
it's not like
stuff.
Freak Show.
No.
I guess I kind of like the story in the Change of Face.
Why?
But she never got, I feel like
we got no explanation for it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And we spend all this time in a strip club. Why is she in a strip club? I mean, okay, cool. But
I think that I think more so than anything, they wanted to try to be dark by like having the skinned faces up, and then they had the heads up, which I like that kind of stuff. But okay, there is literally nothing scary in this movie. Like, I laughed, and not in a good way. I laughed because I'm like, are you kidding me? This was your choice. This was what you did. And no one told you. Clearly, he doesn't have any friends. Because if he had any friends who actually cared about him, they would say, this is absolute garbage. You need to fix this.
Oh, I wonder if maybe he did, and this is the fix.
I wonder if he did and didn't care.
Oh, maybe. I like the design of the albino spider god thing, but it was lit poorly, right? I mean, there's a rule in monsters that have full rubber costumes like this. You've got to show them sparingly.
I don't think it was rubber all the way. I think this was all cloth, and that's why it was like hanging. Yeah, I think this was cloth down here.
Okay, it felt like a full bodysuit, but whatever it was. The idea was fine. It was just a little hokey. The arms didn't. Only 2 arms moved, of course, right? Except for I did like the one scene where he sneaks up behind one and they have other people using the other arms, and just like, how many are there?
Yeah, yes. How many of there are you?
So, there's with the first vignette, I was kind of like, okay, I want to enjoy this. It just kept getting worse and worse. And the Bathory one,
Okay, but wait, in the bathroom one, my green screen is better than the green screen they did.
Well, that might be true. That might be true.
That's sad.
It was funny that they, she carried that head home with her, but that, that might be the most amusing thing. The rest of it was just like, what are you doing? I don't know. I'm just going to throw a lot of hate on this movie, and I feel really bad because that's not like me. I don't do that a lot, but holy cow, this movie is awful. And there's going to be a lot of people listening to this are just going to watch it because of how bad we're saying it is. They're going to go.
And good for you. And you know what? You're going to go into it thinking this is the biggest turd you've ever watched. And you know what? You might think it's okay because of that. We might have actually helped.
No.
Well,
nobody will go more than 20 minutes. And I mean, as that one story just went on forever with nothing, I was like, oh my God, this is like the first story is like 30 minutes out of, and it's supposed to be
shocked they were so long.
Yeah. And
it's
too long by.
It's awful. All right. Well, yeah, it's time. It's time. We've got to stop right here. We got to give our final thoughts, our score, and favorite scene. You're going to want to hang around for this. But before we do that, if you are hanging out with us this far, 1, thank you. 2, hit the subscribe button down below, please. And you'll hear more reviews like this, usually more favorable than this. Hit the like button, the dislike button, hit the bell to be notified. And leave us some comments. And whatever.
And tell us you hate us and you love this movie. I don't care. I get it.
Yep. Whatever you do not give Danzig my home address. I don't want him.
You can give him mine. I said what I said and I stand by
it. Nice. Let's thank our patrons real quick. We do have a patron, and it helps support not only this show but H&R, Decades of Horror, Heroes and Droids as well. And we just want to give you a quick shout out. So thank you so much. But now's the time. Now is the time. Our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. Crystal, you're up first.
Okay, so clearly, I think you should watch this movie because it's on Shudder and it's free. And I think you should watch it because you need to determine for yourself if you think it's this bad. And if you don't think it's this bad, you really should question yourself. Just kidding.
No, you're not.
I'm kidding.
No, you're not.
I'm going to give it a 1.5. And that's because it was made, and I like the music. And like I said, there's a couple of things I liked about it. Okay. My favorite scene that actually made me laugh out loud, and I was like, what? This was a WTF moment for me, Jeff, was the talking, I call it the talking head, but it was just breathing. It was like,
because, okay.
Oh my God. Stop. You're going to kill me.
I'm sorry. I'm going to cry.
Oh my God.
So dumb. I was like, what are they doing? Why?
Stop. I'm going to die. All right. Well, while she regains her composure, Jeff, what is your final thoughts, your score and favorite scene?
Oh, God.
Well, I'm afraid to say this, but I like that part. Well, you know, when I was a kid, I used to think about that. Like when you get your head chopped off, how long did it take for your brain to die? And would you be able to see stuff? And so anyway.
They say it still works for a bit. Yeah,
I would think so, unless you go into shock. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's hard to think of anything good to say about this, so I'll just tie it up here. And I'm giving this a 1. And my favorite scene, I think I'm going to say that the throat slits just because of all the blood. That was the closest thing to where you actually saw something. When they were cutting the faces off, that was not good. but the throat slits, even though the hung upside down one, you can definitely see the appliance. I didn't notice that on the standing upright one. But it spewed out of there like a nozzle on a garden hose.
It did. Oh man. Yeah, this movie is oh god, it's a bigger turd than I can ever imagine it was going to be. I was like, certainly it's not that bad of a film. It's that bad of a film. It is undeniably terrible, and it's not so bad it's good. It wants to be, and you want it to be while you're watching it. You really want it to be so bad it's good, but it's just, if it wasn't boring, right? If it had something happening that wasn't boring, there would be some merit. Yeah. But it's just got all these elements that shouldn't add up to dull. Bad maybe, but it shouldn't be dull. Oh, and it's, just, I don't know what to say. Is it this? A one, and I think that's being generous. A one. This movie is terrible. It's playing on Shudder. We love Shudder. Congratulations, Shudder, for getting 1 million subscribers.
1 million!
Yes, and
absolutely.
And thank you for bringing this movie to us. Wow. Just wait till you see what we got you for Christmas. Favorite scene. Holy crap, I got to pick a favorite scene. I'm going to say the costume blowout, because I just couldn't believe that the costume was it was totally blown out in his crotch. It was like hanging there. Like,
wait
what the? I was like, did you not see that?
And it wasn't like Velocipaster blown out. It was like that should have been hidden blown out.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like, Evil Dead 2 has, the famous scene where the one deadite is floating around and, it blew out. But you really got to look to see it. I mean, once you know it's there, it's hard not to miss it. But if you don't know it's there, you might miss it. You're not going to miss it. No. It's so right there. This movie's, oh, hey, that wasn't the button I wanted to push. This movie is a turd. Yep.
But you should watch it. Try it. You'll like it. Maybe or not.
Please don't tell him we sent you. Please don't.
But you have to commend. I will say, this good on you for Shudder, because it takes all kinds.
Yeah.
Well,
some people are gonna love it, I'm sure.
Yeah, and there are people I've heard that do enjoy this film for how for what it is, but man, I gotta stop.
That's it.
I gotta stop. All right, there you go. That's our review of Verotika playing on Shudder. Please, check it out and let us know what you think down below. We can't wait to hear from you. If you've listened to all this, thank you so much for sticking with us. Oh my gosh, Jeff, Crystal, thank you for being here. Oh, this was special.
Totally.
That's okay.
Totally.
Let's say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night.
Gruesome Magazine.